Well, we are glad that it's Tuesday and that we get to see each and every one of you for this next virtual hiking club meeting, where we are traveling into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean to the Azores Islands. So has anyone heard of the Azores Islands before I sent out the videos last week?
No.
Josh, you knew about them already?
Yeah.
Nice. What did you know about them? Or where did you hear about them?
I've just seen a map of the Azores Islands in the middle of the Atlantic, around the Caribbean.
White. It's too green.
You just saw a map. You saw where they were out there in the ocean. The Azores are considered the Hawaii of Europe. So they are technically part of Portugal.
Oh.
The country of Portugal, even though they're some 850 miles away from the country of Portugal. That's pretty interesting. And
I must have got my geography mixed up then.
The Azores, maybe it's there may be another set of islands that's similar to that,
Yeah.
closer to the Caribbean. I'll have to research maybe for another hiking location.
Yeah.
So the Azores, I'd like to show you just where it is on the map. We always like to see where it is in the world since we bounce around so much all over the world. While I find this, if you had a chance to watch one or both of those videos I sent out, please raise your hand and let us know.
Both.
Okay, a few of you guys did. So I may pull from those videos and watch a couple snippets for those who didn't get have a chance to watch them. There was some really good and interesting and fun information in those videos. Okay. All right, Alyssa, you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Oh, Alyssa.
All right, Google Maps, here we come. Azores. So this is taking me to one island, but the Azores is a collection of 9 different islands. You can see them here. I won't even try to say all of their names because I'll mess it up. But we have a few more.
That's what I would do.
So it makes me wonder, where are we? We're just surrounded by the ocean. Here we go. Portugal is here, just next to Spain. And the Azores are way out here. I better double check myself. I thought I had read it was 850 miles. Elaine, if you've had a chance to look at that at all, and I'm wrong, please let me know.
Wait.
Oh,
I recognize one of them. I recognize
what it is.
The names.
So, crew, the distance between this red marker and Portugal, this is 850 miles.
Wow.
Yes. So that would be the distance of, probably be from West Tennessee to East North Carolina would be about that same distance to travel from these islands to Portugal.
Yep.
Is what they're technically a part of. So similarly, Hawaii is part of the United States, right?
Oh, there.
Look at how far Hawaii is from the United States.
That's a vacation, y'all.
I don't know exactly how far it is in miles, but I would say it's at least 3 times as far as the Azores Islands are from their country of Portugal.
That's my dream vacation.
And
Yeah,
Julie, you'll see just why it should be your dream vacation when we get into this meeting and see some beautiful scenery and all the things you can do on these islands. Kendall, do you have a question?
But when you scrolled over one of them, it said Iraq, and I think my Aunt Jenny went there when she was in the Army area. So
really? One of these islands here?
No, Iraq, when you scoot.
Oh, yes. Over here, Iraq? Yeah.
Yeah, my
all Army people go there for.
my grandfather was World War II.
Sorry, Rachel, I didn't hear that. Can you say it again?
Going on what Kendall was saying about her relative that was in the army.
Yes.
My grandfather was in Germany for most World War II.
Oh, wow. Way up here,
Yeah,
Germany.
he was in the thick of it.
So you guys, maybe you can see my road atlas behind me if I'm on the side of your screen. I really love looking at maps. I love seeing where things are in the world and where they are in relation to where we are over here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It kind of puts the whole world in more perspective. So before I leave Google Maps, let's see what it looks like right now. And oh, let's see, this picture was taken just last month, October of 2020. Because
That's
these are
pretty.
islands,
Yeah, it is.
it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
pretty too.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's our scrolling button.
That's pretty.
So that's it for the latest photos. Otherwise, though, that's pretty. There's a
Oh,
story.
yeah.
There's a story behind these lakes right here. You can see there's a green-blue color to them, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awkward.
So
Turquoise.
there's some folklore that I'm going to share with you later on in the meeting as far as why the lake is green and blue. What some people believe and what's
Makes it pretty.
down from time and time again. I think I sent out this photo in the reminder email.
Yeah.
It's one of the
did.
hikes that you can do. I think it's on San Miguel Island. That's a pretty popular island in the Azores, one of the bigger ones. So you can see you're here on the ridge. It's so green and lush.
It's so pretty.
Yes. I bet you could do some swimming down there in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Some people live right there on the coast.
Oh, I would love to live right there. Mhm.
Yeah, Alyssa, I hear ya.
Me
And
too.
does anyone know what this flower is right here?
That flower is pretty.
That blue flower, do you know what it is?
No.
If you think you know, go ahead and say it. Throw it out there.
So like, guys, you might have seen them. They come in pinks or blues or whites.
They're pretty.
Oh,
They're pretty.
I think I
Julie, you
know.
think you know? What do you think?
Yeah. Dandelion.
Oh, a good guess. These are, I'll go ahead and tell you guys, these are hydrangeas.
They're
Okay.
pretty.
Is that how you say them, Elaine? Am I saying them funny?
Mhm. Yep, a hydrangea. Yeah.
Hydrangea. I didn't
They're
know maybe some
pretty.
people say hydrangea.
They are pretty.
That's probably more like where I come from. People say hydrangea.
I think we get them too.
Yeah, we do, Alyssa. We do. And one of these 9 islands in the Azores, Fayal is what it's called. Fayal Island is known as the Blue Island because of the number of hydrangea plants that live there, like this right here.
Your leg up here. Come on.
These flowers, these plants, they're not native to the islands. They were introduced there. We don't know where they were introduced from, but they were, and now they're all over the place, kind of like kudzu is here. They're really pretty though.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah, they
I
are.
love flowers.
Oh, who would want to take a
Dude,
walk on the right along the coast there?
I would.
Absolutely.
would.
Oh, hi, cows.
That's where you get your dairy from.
That's right. And do you see this right behind it? This huge mountain?
Yeah.
We're going to learn more about why these islands are here. There has been volcano activity. So there are volcanoes on these islands, and it
Right.
has created some of the terrain as it is today.
Yep.
So here's some more of the city, some very old buildings, because
Oh,
people
that's
have lived on
pretty.
these islands for a long time. Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
That's so gorgeous.
All that green moss
Black and white.
lichen on the rocks in the fog looking out to the coast. I wonder if someone put a filter on that photo.
It looks like clouds in the water. Like,
Yeah, it
oh,
did.
that's pretty.
It did. So as
Oh,
we
that's
can see
neat.
here, there's a combination of infrastructure or buildings and civilization and the beauty of nature. So I'm going to stop sharing this
That's pretty.
so we can come back together.
Mhm.
That was just a little taste of the Azores Islands. Now, I'd like to share a short video with you, just a couple of minutes, to learn a little more about these islands, the history, the culture, the hiking trails, what you'll see if you go there. And I'll let them explain it a little better than I can.
Let's do this.
Thank you,
That's
Beth and
right.
Alyssa. Okay.
Welcome.
It's titled When to Go to the Azores, because that may be a question that you have. If you put it on your bucket list of places to go to, then you might want to know, well, what time of year should I go? When does it make sense? Well, this little video will tell you. And I think it doesn't actually say anything. So I'll read off what we read on the page, on the video.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. So as we said, the Azores are the Hawaii of Europe.
That's my
volcanic
vacation.
islands are 930 miles off Portugal. There seems to be some confusion between my sources. 850, 930, whatever it is, it's around 900 miles away from Portugal. And it's full of this breathtaking natural landscaping with rugged lava coasts, black sand beaches, and forest-ringed crater lakes to explore. July is the best month to visit. It's the driest and warmest time of the year, and the ocean is at its calmest, making both land and sea adventures possible. The weather is perfect for hiking. Scale Mount Pico, a perfectly conical volcano on Pico Island. It's a challenging trek to the summit, but worth it for the atmospheric views. São Miguel's Island's beautiful twin crater lake, Cedar Cadet, is said to have been formed by the tears of star-crossed lovers. A green-eyed princess and a blue-eyed shepherd. In July, the highlands of Flores Island are carpeted with blooming hydrangeas. This is also the best time of year to take a boat trip to spot sperm whales, as well as pods of dolphins.
Well, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
dolphins.
I love dolphins.
I do too.
It's worth exploring under the water too. The sea is calm and crystal clear now, which is all the better for spotting blue sharks and elegant manta rays.
I've flown with them
At
before.
dive sites near Pico, Fale, and Santa Maria, the Azores is a thrilling archipelago where the landscapes are as epic above the water as they are below it.
Put on
If you
whale.
want to get outdoors, there's no better time than July. There you go.
If you want to get outdoors.
There you go. So, what's the best time to go to the Azores?
July.
What?
July. And get this, because it is where it's located for various reasons. The temperature through the year, it only ranges from like 50 to 70 degrees. So it doesn't get super cold like last night here in Chattanooga. It got down into the 30s. It was pretty cold last night.
Mhm.
And Rachel, you did that bonfire this afternoon because it's still kind of chilly outside.
Yep.
In the Azores Islands all year long, it ranges between 50 and 70 degrees. So it's fairly mild compared to other climates like ours, where we have super hot summers and pretty cold winters.
Hey Michelle,
Yes,
is the water warm?
Is the water warm?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question, Jimmy. I think it depends what time of the year you go. but I've seen in some of the videos I watched, I saw people swimming. So it's warm enough to swim in at certain parts of the year. From that video, well, first of all, before we move on, is there anything anyone wants to add or any questions that you have so far? I saw some people got pretty excited about the dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I love a dolphin.
they were pretty cute. You can see pods of dolphins and sharks and manta rays.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like a great opportunity to explore the ocean life.
Dolphins. My family and I actually went to the Palms one time, and we actually saw pond dolphins.
Very cool,
Just in
Kendall.
our condo area, in our porch area where the condo is, and you can go out there and you can see the dolphins just going out there and listening to the whole thing.
Oh, nice. Julie, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, my sister and my brother and my nephew and I went to, I forgot what it's called, but went to, where Atlanta, Florida is, SeaWorld.
Oh,
And we
SeaWorld.
saw
I've
some
been there too.
dolphins.
I've been there too.
We saw some dolphins and they gave us some food so we can feed them. They get out of our hands. And that was awesome.
Oh, that sounds so
What?
cool,
And
Julie.
then we got to pet it too.
Nice.
Swimming with a dolphin. Awesome.
It's really fun.
My parents
Oh.
and I, at different times, swam with the dolphins when we went to a.
Me too.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you could do that in the Azores as well. Could have an underwater adventure swimming with the dolphins. I don't know that I'd want to swim
Oh,
with the sharks, though.
Right.
Yeah, I would love to do that with the dolphins.
Yeah.
Me, I swim with the dolphins before me and when we went to Florida.
So
Yeah, I would
we
love to do
saw-
that.
Swimming with dolphins.
So moving on from that video, we did see a little more about one of the mountains. They said on the island, it's a perfectly conical, so it makes a cone, perfectly conical volcano called Mount Pico. And the next video I have for you is all about that mountain and what it would be like to hike on that mountain. Since we are a virtual hiking club, figured we should learn a little bit more about the hiking areas there.
Let's do this.
That's right, Alyssa. Let's do this. It's just a couple of minutes long. Let me get it set up and ready to play. Climbing Mount Pico, which is the tallest mountain in Portugal. Okay, get ready. Here we go.
We go. That's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Very green, isn't it?
Yep.
So you might see up here, this is listed in meters, 2,351 meters above sea level. What that means for us, since we understand feet and use feet as a measurement more often, that is 7,713 feet above sea level.
Dang,
Wow.
that's tall.
Yeah.
Dang.
So this is not an easy hike.
I'm a-
Wow.
looks like a hill.
So,
That's pretty neat.
isn't it? It's pretty cool. Does anyone here want to climb to the top
Yeah.
of Mount Pico?
Kinda.
Kinda. The rest of us are like, that looks too hard. That view at the end
My
was
legs were
beautiful, though, wasn't it? The view of the sunset
Probably.
on the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like clouds in those.
Yes, it does. So, a fun fact for you before I move on to the next topic, the next video, I'd like to just talk through some of the geography of the islands. So, we said there are 9 islands that make up the Azores. One of those is only 7 miles, 7 square miles. So, it's tiny. It's a tiny little island. And then others are bigger. Let's see. The biggest one, São Miguel, if I'm saying it right, that's the largest, and it's 293 square miles. So that's a little bigger. That might be like one of our states here in the United States, the size of one of them. Not as big as Tennessee, though. Probably more like an East Coast state, a smaller one. So that's the largest island of the Azores. But all in all, between all these islands, it makes up 906 square miles of land that make up the Azores. So one other thing about the mountains, we'd already hiked Mount Pico virtually, and we said it was over 7,000 feet above sea level. Now we've traveled to other mountains that are in the like 28,000 feet above sea level. K2 is way up there, a really tall mountain. But when you're measuring from the base of these mountains, because remember, it goes deep down underneath sea level, when you measure from the base, the Azores are actually some of the tallest mountains on the planet. Even though above sea level, it's like 20,000 feet less than K2 over in Pakistan and Asia. Isn't that interesting? I was surprised when I learned about that. So if you go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, to the base of this mountain, there's some of the tallest mountains in the entire world. They're on the Azores Islands. That was a pretty interesting thing, kind of like we talked about the difference between the sequoia trees and the redwood trees. Which one is the biggest?
Mhm.
Like, well, one's big in mass and the other's big in height. So which one's the biggest? Same thing for these mountains that are above sea level versus the ones that go down below sea level. Which one's the biggest?
That goes above.
It's an interesting thing to think about. So I have another video for you that we're going to piece together. Is there anything else anyone wants to add before I move on to this next video?
No.
No? Okay.
While you're pulling that up, Michelle, I'll just add, Jimmy, you had asked about, can you swim there, right? And you can swim, like Michelle said, you know, it's not as necessarily warm. Like if you guys have ever been to Florida in the summertime and, you know, the
Yeah.
water's pretty warm, especially the later in the summer. So it's not that warm there. It still stays kind of cool year round because the temperature doesn't, like when Michelle was first talking about the temperature, it doesn't get super hot or super cold. It kind of stays pretty even throughout the year. So it doesn't heat the water up like it would down in Florida or somewhere else that's like really tropical, because it's considered more of a subtropic. So not quite as hot as tropical areas.
Right. Thank you, Elaine, for adding that in. Okay.
I bet you lots of colorful fish live there in the Caribbeans.
I bet that you're correct.
Yes. So this video is titled Why You, Julie, Beth Alyssa, Jimmy, Josh, Seth, Rachel, Kendall. Am I missing anybody? I can't see everyone's face. Elaine. This is why you should visit São Miguel, Portugal. So this is a couple that traveled over there and they hiked up to a peak here and they're going to tell us more about the area.
I was happy to be here.
They say that this is the best vantage point on the entire island, and right now it's so beautiful because there's this crazy mist and clouds coming. I mean, we're really, really high right now. It almost feels like we're on a mountain in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Another hike. Back when they you see that? You hike out to this point and you have that amazing view. There you go, Julie.
That was cool, right? You like that?
So Boca do Inferno is amazing, but you have to be patient with the weather. When we first got up there, it was completely clear, and then this crazy mist and cloud coverage came in. If you wait, it will pass. We probably waited for about 45 minutes, but it's worth it.
We came in by car. You can actually come right up to the steps, but there was a gate that was closed, so we had to park and walk around the gate to get here. If the gate's open, drive all the way in. If it's closed, just walk in. It's about a 15 to 20 minute walk. Relatively flat until you hit the steps.
Next, we are going to one of the viewpoints, Vista do Rey. It's called King's View. That's what it's actually called. So hopefully the weather holds up. We will be able to see that from King's View. So we're on our way to King's View, and we saw a sign that looks kind of like a trailhead, but instead Raphael decided to drive down it. And we're on one of those mountains where it's just a road on the top. It's like a ridge line, and then it's a straight drop on either side.
Pretty intense. One in, one out kind of situation.
Yeah. So now we're dealing with a car that has to reverse on these windy roads on this cliffside.
Actually, you want to see what it looks like?
I'm gonna go see if that door's closed. I'll be right back. You can pop your legs right back on me, okay?
On a clear sunny day, you can clearly see that one lake is blue and one is green. Legend has it, there's a fun little story about this. There used to be a blue-eyed shepherd and a green-eyed princess that were in love with each other, kind of like Romeo and Juliet. They were told they were not allowed to see each other. So the story is that the blue lake is from the blue-eyed shepherd's tears, and the green lake is from the emerald-eyed princess.
All right, I'm going to stop the video right there. So from that video, we learned a few things, right? We learned about the history of the blue and the green lakes. Can anyone tell me again, what was that story? Why is one lake blue and one lake green, according to legend?
I have no clue.
No worries, Jimmy. Did anyone hear that or want to try to say it again from what they heard in the video?
Was it a princess?
Yeah. Alyssa, the legend was a green-eyed princess fell in love with a blue-eyed shepherd, but they weren't allowed to be together, like Romeo and Juliet. And so the
That's
one
me
lake,
and
the
Tony.
blue lake is the tears of the blue-eyed shepherd, and the green lake is the tears of the green-eyed princess, because they were so sad and heartbroken that they cried so much to fill up this lake with their tears. That's the legend for the colors of those lakes.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
Well, that's a touching story.
yeah, it is touching.
Hopefully they had a happy ending.
Right. Hopefully there's a channel that connects the pools so that their tears can be connected once they're gone.
Oh, that's a
Who knows? So other things from that video, did you see that view up on top?
It was pretty.
It was really pretty. And the road that you have to drive on to get to certain trailheads, that looked a little scary. It's a very narrow road.
Very narrow.
And steep on either side going down into the water. So I have a few more things to tell you about the Azores. I don't have any more videos to show you, but just some interesting facts about this place. If you ever say, that's something I want to go do and visit one day, here are some things you can know about it. So as early as the 1600s, these islands were becoming overpopulated because there's not that much land there. And we actually had 250,000 Azorians who relocated here to the United States. And that happened between 1921 and 1977. So we had 250,000 Azorians who relocated here and are now in our country. Or at least
Michelle,
the time that they came here. Yes.
Michelle, did you say that all of the islands are only not put together only 900 feet?
906 square miles.
I mean miles, excuse me, not feet.
Yes, only 906.
So I was looking, and the only thing I was trying to like figure out in my mind like what that would be comparable to, you know?
Right.
If there is, and we had talked about, you'd said like a smaller state up north. And so you guys, if you think about, and I don't know, I bet you can't see it on my phone, but maybe, do you see Rhode Island? Oh, look, there's the light. So here's Rhode Island.
Uh-huh.
And it looks on the map like tiny, right? And it is more, it's about 1,200 miles. So think about, you know, all the islands put together, it's really small. So that's a lot of people in a little bit of space. So definitely one of the reasons that it was overpopulated there.
And interesting, Elaine, that you mentioned Rhode Island and the sizing. When all of those people migrated to the United States earlier in the 1900s, a lot of them located in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Go figure.
What a coincidence.
I know, that's interesting. So some things that you would find there on the islands, food-wise, it's always interesting to me to hear what other people eat in different parts of the world. And this is what you might find. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Octopus. You might find octopus, stewed. That's right, stewed down octopus soup.
Ugh.
Kale soup, fried mackerel, which is a fish. Pineapples, sweet and spicy peppers, fresh, rich dairy like local yogurt, butter, cheeses. So remember those cows we saw in the pictures that were taken recently? They have a lot of fresh dairy products.
Yep, that's where you get from.
Thank you, Julie. And similarly in the food realm, so does anybody here drink tea?
I do.
Yeah, maybe some people drink cold sweet tea, iced tea, or hot tea. Well, in 1750, so this was almost 300 years ago, they found tea leaves there in the islands.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was growing wild on the islands. So tea has become very domesticated in these countries in Europe, here in the United States, very controlled, but there it grew wild. Kind of like coffee grows wild in the mountains of South America or Africa. It's pretty interesting.
Oh
And
yeah.
they're grapes. So they have a lot of wine there. They use grapes in different meals. And the vines of the grapes, they typically grow in these little pins. Let me grab the rest of my notes. These little pins, kind of like flower beds, surrounded by stone walls that are made of volcanic rock from these volcanoes on the mountains that protect them from the winds and the cooler evening temperatures. So they've used the landscape to help with their produce, their horticulture, their food. They've worked together in tandem with the land to build what it is today.
And so you guys, in one of those videos that Michelle shared with us, you know, and it talked about that she was reading some of the words, it was talking about the black beaches, right? Right? Did you remember that? And you saw the beaches weren't like, depending on if you've ever gone to the beach or where you've gone, you might see it really white sand or kind of a dusty sand color that might have more shells in it, or but
Right.
do we know why it's black? Does anybody have a guess? Did they just paint it black, you think?
Spray paint.
No. So what comes out of when a volcano erupts?
Oh, lava.
Right.
Lava.
Yeah. So all that ash and the lava, right, that mixes with the soil and mixes with
Limestone.
the sand and all of that, right? It turns the beaches more of like a blackish color.
Limestone.
Yeah.
Ash and rock and lava.
Oh
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Azores.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
So you were
wild.
talking about Hawaii. Somebody was talking about Hawaii. They have some black beaches there too.
Didn't there,
Yeah, they do.
didn't they have a volcano eruption over there once?
In Hawaii?
Yeah, a couple.
I think you're right, Rachel, that there was a more recent activity going on in the volcano there on one of the islands. I don't remember the details though, when it was or what happened there, but that sounds really familiar. So
I collect sales.
what's that, Julie?
I said I collect sales.
You collect shells?
I collect them.
Oh, nice. From different beaches that you go to?
No, this one beach that we went. I forgot where it was. I think it might be Panama City.
Okay.
I was like digging through the sand to get some seals.
Okay.
And I had things to put them in.
Nice. Very nice. I have just a couple more things to tell you about the Azores before somehow our time totally runs out like that. It goes by so fast. But one more thing about the islands. We talked about how it became overpopulated as early as 1600. Well, they say that the islands were discovered officially in 1431. And Sao Miguel, one of the islands that we hiked up virtually, it was settled in 1444.
Wow.
But it was drawn up on a map in 1375. So I think there were explorers that went out in those earlier years, explored, they drew up a map, and then it was discovered and officially became the islands and became a part of Portugal later on. Elaine, do you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
I I don't think so, except I'd sure like to be able to go there and check out all those beautiful places.
It would easily do.
Absolutely. And like Alyssa said, to see the dolphins and the other animals and all
Oh,
the
yeah.
scenery that's there. It is gorgeous for sure. And I think the word is getting out, so it's becoming more popular as a tourist destination. But I enjoy being able to see it virtually, if not in person.
Yep.
I can imagine walking on those black sand beaches, putting my feet in the water,
Mm-hmm.
drinking some of their fresh milk.
Ew.
Or
Ew.
drinking some of their fresh, delicious, piping hot coffee.
Or their tea. I think they drink a lot of tea there. Well, gang, it has been great to see you and explore the Azores Islands with you this week. Next week, we'll be traveling back to the United States and explore, or sorry, not next week. I forgot to tell you. Next week, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, we will not be meeting for hiking.
Right.
We will be taking a week off of our hiking club meeting, and we'll have a reunion the week after Thanksgiving where we'll come back and we'll either be exploring in the United States or across the world. I don't think we've decided that one yet, so be ready for some unknown place or maybe a familiar place. You never know. Julie, did you have something to add?
Yeah, can you even the line stay on? I want to tell you two something.
Yes.
It's personal.
All right, Julie, we can hang out. Well,
All right.
you guys, thank you so much for coming and being a part of the meeting today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you guys, and it was fun, and we hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Whatever that looks like, right? And if nothing else, know that we are thankful for each of you.
We sure are.
Too.
So enjoy the sunshine while we have it. Stay warm. Stay safe, and can't wait to hear what kind of Thanksgiving foods you all eat while we're gone and separated.
Plan.
Everybody, we'll see you later.
Bye.
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 Bye.